We are pleased to welcome the members of the Air Force ROTC Detachment 490. They will be proceeding down our center aisle. They are serving as our color guard at this graduation ceremony, and they will be posting the colors at this time. As they process, we are pleased also to welcome the Newark Boys Choir, who will sing our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, the flags of the United States of America and the state of New Jersey, please rise and remove your hats. Good morning, and welcome to NJIT's 2016 graduation ceremony. And what a good-looking group of people we have with us here today. I thank you. With these ceremonies, New Jersey Institute of Technology will have awarded over 2,800 degrees to the members of this class of 2016. That brings the number of degrees awarded by your university to over 80,000 degrees. I would like to thank the gonfalon carriers whose names are listed in your program, the students who were selected by their deans to carry the gonfalons have exhibited exemplary scholarship and citizenship. Will the gonfalon bearers please stand? Please stand, gonfalon carriers. Thank you. Thank you. A number of our candidates for baccalaureate degrees today are wearing medallions signifying they are graduating with academic honors. The degree summa cum laude will be awarded to those who have attained an overall grade point average of 3.8 and higher. These students can be distinguished by their gold medallions. The degree magna cum laude, and the degree for magna cum laude is for those who have attained an overall grade point average between 3.6 and 3.8. They are distinguished by their silver medallions. And the degree cum laude is to be given to those who've attained a grade point average of 3.4 and 3.6. No easy accomplishments at this particular rigorous university. I ask all of those students to please stand and be recognized for their academic achievements. Thank you. An equally distinguished group of students is wearing regalia that signify membership in nationally recognized honor societies, appropriate to their discipline. Will these graduates please stand to be recognized, please? Thank you. I ask that you also recognize with applause those candidates who've participated in the Albert Dorman Honors College. Will the Dorman Scholars please stand? Thank you. And in particular, we would like to acknowledge those members from the graduating class that have served in the armed forces of the United States and thank them for their service. If they would please stand to be recognized. At this time, if you'd please allow me to make some observation and share some words of encouragement to the class of 2016. First, it is a great honor to share this occasion with you and to congratulate everyone who will receive an NJIT degree today. It's been a year of tremendous highs and achievements and a most recent tragedy. But one of the great strengths of NJIT is we come together and remain optimistic even in the face of the unthinkable. Later this morning, we will award Joseph Micazzelli his BS degree in mechanical engineering posthumously. Second, we celebrate a most significant milestone, your graduation. You can applaud here too. You've been helped by many people who merit recognition and admiration. Before you came to NJIT, and I'm sure during your time here at NJIT, you were lovingly encouraged and guided by caring individuals closest to you, your friends, your families, and significant others. Please join me in applauding all those whose love and encouragement has been so generous and so important to your success. Your applause, please. In the course of your NJIT experience, you've been engaged to learn and to be prepared for success by our outstanding faculty members who are advancing science and technology on numerous fronts to increase knowledge and improve the quality of life for all of us. During this past year alone, members of our faculty have been recognized nationally and internationally for research that spans evolutionary biology, biomedical engineering, environmental science, solar physics, nanotechnology, and cybersecurity. A discovery made by Assistant Professors Brooke Fleming and Daphne Soares, members of the Department of Biological Science, was recently featured in Science News literally around the world. The skeletal structure that they discovered in a rare species of cavefish provides new insight into the anatomical evolution that has enabled all species, including us, to walk on land. Another faculty member, Associate Professors Sergei Adamovich and Rick Folds, I see Rick here today, who are at the forefront of biomedical engineering, are working with the Kessler Foundation, their colleagues, to develop wearable robotic exoskeletons that could restore mobility to individuals suffering from spinal cord injuries. With Kessler, NJIT has received $5 million to that work. A major grant recently from the National Foundation will enable Assistant Professor Alexei Kazalov to continue his investigation of the process by which toxic mercury is released into the atmosphere through the combustion of fuels such as coal and petroleum. This grant, this is a very prestigious Faculty Early Career Development Award from the National Science Foundation that is given to young faculty who have demonstrated outstanding potential as educators and researchers. Then there is the life-saving work of Professors Namesh Chandra and Brian Pfister to prevent traumatic brain injury, whether for our armed services in combat, athletes, or as a result of accidents. Their center has attracted over $8 million in new funding. And from our newly named, as of yesterday, Ying Wu College of Computing Science, there is our cybersecurity expert. Professor Roloff has received millions in federal grants to develop new anti-hacking cybersecurity methodologies and software. And one of the gentlemen I've had the pleasure of knowing for many years, Professor Raj Dave, has received his 9th patent for manufacturing processes to coat fine particles in order to dissolve pharmaceuticals on your tongue without water. This, of course, is a lifesaver when water is not available or it is not healthy enough to drink. He developed this with some of his PhD students who share in the patent, and this technology has been licensed by a global healthcare company. Professor Sam Mitra this year was inducted into the Academy of Inventors for his seminal work in the application of nanotechnology to inventing a foldable battery, the desalinization of salt water, as well as the development of solar cells. And our distinguished research professor, physicist Louis Lanzarotti, is a leader in the study of solar phenomena that can have a profound impact on communications and other vital infrastructure of Earth. Professor Lanzarotti's numerous achievements include leading the NJIT effort to place instrumentation on 2 satellites orbiting the Earth to understand the space weather phenomena, such as solar flares. Professor Lanzarotti recently shared his expertise at the request of the Executive Office of the President of the United States to understand the potential catastrophic effects of space weather and the need to make our on-land infrastructure more resilient. Government, business, and education partnerships are more evident on our campus through NJIT's newly formed New Jersey Innovation Institute. It had a remarkable year, including the receipt of our largest grant ever, $49.6 million from the federal government to improve healthcare delivery in our state of New Jersey. These achievements of these individuals are just representative of what our faculty are doing here at NJIT. A round of applause for our faculty, please. About our students, at the annual Dana Knox Student Research Showcase, led by Professor Atum Dewan last month, more than 50 talented undergraduate and graduate students presented innovative work that included managing automobile traffic, manufacturing electronic components, 3D printing, rehabilitation of brownfields, supplying clean drinking water, the evaluation of traumatic brain injuries, and many, many other projects in our STEM fields. One group of students who exhibited there recently received an EPA grant for trying to bring clean water to farming villages in Sri Lanka. In my brief remaining time here, I would like to acknowledge a few other of our students whose talent and accomplishments have recently received special recognition. A first-year student, a freshman, Ashley Patesh, was a finalist in the undergraduate section of the 2016 Johnson & Johnson Engineering Showcase. The subject of her presentation was laparoscopic surgical devices, a project which she completed with another first-year student, Asita Shah. Junior Shahita Alam joined NJIT's recipients of the very prestigious Goldwater Scholarships, one of the most sought-after undergraduate academic awards. She is a biomedical engineering major enrolled in the Albert Dorman Honors College. Shahita is also participating in our accelerated medical education program with the goal of one day being a researcher and physician. Her research projects have included studying attention deficit disorder, hyperactivity, and the regeneration of nerve cells. This year, senior David Anderson has been awarded a Fulbright grant that will enable him to travel and study in Germany. This has been our first Fulbright. He is a mathematical science major. For his master's, which is in mathematical finance, he intends to study how attitudes toward borrowing in different cultures affect the severity of financial recessions as well as its economic recovery. Also senior John Vito D'Antonio Bertagonelli. Now I know John, I chose to talk about him just so I could say his name. John is a biomedical engineer along with his colleague Junior Robert Giowa, both an IT major and game designer. They teamed up to create a 3D gaming device that actually corrects vision disorder. And they won first place in the national competition Tech West and have an IEEE grant to continue their work. These are examples, thank you, for our students, please, student researchers. These are examples, and I could cite many more, clearly illuminate the character of NJIT's mission in research and in education. In 2016, as we have done for many decades, we seek to encourage positive and productive engagement that is critical for progress in many areas. Research, which this past year was a total expenditure of about $110 million, is a key component for learning at NJIT, both in the classroom and in the laboratory. Our students are participating with their faculty mentors in exciting efforts that will increase our basic knowledge and yield a glowing spectrum of real-world benefits for all of us. And there is another metric that's very important to your university, the spirit of service that we strive to foster at NJIT, service to our community in Newark, to our state, to our nation, and to people of other countries where life is often hard and uncertain. By working cooperatively and positively and with respect for our individual differences, I firmly believe that we can make the future brighter for many, many more people. This is why a culture is an essential part of the NJIT experience and family. It is a culture embedded campus-wide in student professional associations, athletic programs, academic service, learning courses, fraternities, sororities, and other student organizations. For 5 years in a row, NJIT was named to the U.S. President's Honor Roll for service. This recognition is for service activities that include assisting over 260 nonprofit groups in our region, tutoring and mentoring hundreds of children in our area's public schools, and by the end of 2015, listen to this number, NJIT students have dedicated more than 45,000 hours of public service. That's 45,000 hours of public service. That is just amazing. In recent years, students have traveled to Dominican Republic and Haiti to work on projects to improve public health. This spring, much closer to home, several hundred students dedicated time to service projects during the alternative spring break. They participated in projects such as assisting a nonprofit farm in Middletown, New Jersey, that benefits autistic adults, tending a community garden in Newark, volunteering at a food bank in Hillside, and helping to construct houses for Habitat for Humanity in Bergenfield. I want to thank our staff, particularly those in career services, for leading students into these most important community service projects. So, whether you are entering the workplace or going on to further education, I know that you've been well prepared for personal success by our great university. It is also our hope that you've been inspired to make service and the beneficial application of your knowledge you have gained to assist daily in your life and the lives of so many others. You now join a force of very, very powerful NJIT alumni who make significant contributions nationally and globally. I urge you to stay in touch with your alma mater and to share accomplishments that I know will inspire young men and women who follow you in preparing to embark on a future of success, service, and optimism. Once again, congratulations, the class of 2016. Thank you. At this time, I call upon the president of the NJIT Alumni Association, Jack Wagner. Jack is a retired IBM executive and currently an adjunct professor in the NJIT Martin Tuckman School of Management. Jack received his BS in computer science from NJIT a while ago. Thank you, Jack.
A while ago. One of the things that Dr. Bloom just talked about was the culture of NJIT. The culture of the NJIT continues beyond graduation, and that's where the Alumni Association becomes involved. I would like to welcome and thank our Golden Highlanders for being here today. And Golden Highlanders are those who've graduated before 1965. So welcome our Golden Highlanders. But there's one person who typifies the commitment to NJIT more than anyone, and that's Herman Blackman. Herman Blackman is our most senior alumnus with us today, and he's been marching in these graduation ceremonies for the past 6 years. He got his BS degree in chemical engineering in 1938. Herman, can you please come forward? Dr. Bloom just asked me to make an additional announcement, and that Herman is 99 years old.
I'll give it to Mike. Okay, we're going down the center of the stairs. Mike. Congratulations.
Herman, thank you very much for your commitment to NJIT. And you think 21 is old? Well, okay, let's get on with a brief comment here. What else can I say? Congratulations. You did it. After years of hard work and dedication, you've earned your degree from NJIT. On behalf of the NJIT Alumni Association, I applaud you for this important milestone. You know, one thing is always the same at graduation day. Everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody wants to congratulate you. Everybody wants to give you advice. I'm going to take a different approach. I don't want to talk about you. I'd much rather talk about me. I am honored to have had the chance to work with so many of you. I am humbled by your accomplishments, and I am excited to welcome you to the NJIT Alumni Association. Congratulations. Go Highlanders.
And you're all invited to Jack's house with the Alumni Association for the after party, right, Jack? Very important groups of people help us do the work at NJIT. It is now my pleasure to introduce several members of the NJIT Board of Trustees who are here with us today. First and foremost, Steve DePalma, class of '72, Chair of the Board of Trustees. Steve? Vince DiCaprio, second of 3 generations of alums, 1972, Vice Chair of the Board. Thank you, Vince. Elizabeth Garcia, class of '73, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees. Thank you, Liz. Steve Cordes, it's a notorious class, this class of '72, also Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees. Dennis Bone, please. Dennis, also a trustee. Peter Sestero, class of '68. Peter? Oh, there you are. Thank you, Peter. And last but not least, Larry Rea, class of '65. Larry, thank you. Our Board of Trustees. Another very important board here at NJIT are the overseers. They are the board of the foundation. Follow them, that's where the money is. First and foremost, the chair, John Cisos, class of '59. John, thank you. Marjorie Perry, vice chair, class of '05. Marjorie. John Famosa, class of '74. John. Dan Henderson, honorary doctor, class of '11. Dan. Emil Herkett, please. Thank you, Emil. John McCann. John. And Steve Saperson, class of '84. Thank you. As members of, will all the members of the NJIT Alumni Association Board of Directors also stand to be recognized? I know you're out here. Thank you. At this time, another award, please. This is an award to John Olson, who is also an overseer, generous NJIT benefactor, highly valued alum, and an indispensable advisor. His executive leadership of a very important committee of the overseers, the Joint Investment Committee, has helped us to sustain and grow the university's endowment portfolio. It's that portfolio that funds so many of your scholarships. So we have benefited from his very prudent stewardship. He has done this for 10 years. As his tenure draws to a close, we want to thank him for his service and his dedication. He has consistently demonstrated a personal commitment to his university, and many of you, again, have received much financial assistance. Due to illness, he will not be here with us today, and accepting a small token of our appreciation is John Cisos, the chair of the Board of Overseers. John, if you please come forward. Thank you. At this point, it's my opportunity to recognize some other people who do the very significant daily work here at our university. Let me start by identifying the best provost, Fadi D, Provost and Senior Executive Vice President. Thank you, Fadi. Ed Bischoff Sr., our Senior Vice President for Finance and Treasury. Don Sebastian, Senior Vice President for Technology, Business Development, and President of NJIT. Charles Dees, Senior Vice President for University Advancement. Those of you graduating, you'll be hearing from Dr. Dees and his colleagues shortly. Charlie Fay, Senior Vice President for Academic Support and Student Services. Andrew Christ, an alum, Vice President for Real Estate Development and Capital Operations. Kate Turner, Vice President for Human Resources. Holly Stern, General Counsel and Vice President for Legal Affairs. Moshe Kam, our Dean of the Newark College of Engineering. Thank you, Moshe. Erzgar Schott, who started here some 20-plus years ago with me, our Dean of the College of Architecture and Design, Erz. Kevin Belfield, the Dean of College of Science and Liberal Arts. Reggie Cordial, the Dean of the Martin Tuckman School of Management. Reggie. Katia Passerini, Dean of the Albert Dorman Honors College. Marek Uskinovich, Dean, the Ying Wu College of Computing Science. Basil Balsis, Vice Provost for Academic Affairs. Thank you. Atum Dewan, Vice Provost for Research. Soterius Ziavras, Associate Provost for Graduate Studies. Richard Shear, Distinguished Professor, and having done an outstanding job this year as our Faculty Senate President. Thank you, Richard. And Clarissa Gonzalez-Lenahan, Associate Director for Graduate Studies. I would also like to thank Kaylin Gamel, our outstanding senior class president, who was our class crier today and did all the announcements as all the groups entered the arena here. Later in the ceremony, Kaylin will be receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Biology. She's also an athlete here, and she also plays in the Winds Ensemble, such very accomplished students. It is now my pleasure to introduce another very accomplished student. He's also an athlete. He also plays in the Winds Ensemble here at you didn't know we had ensembles here at NJIT. You should come and listen to them. They're absolutely outstanding. He's the Senate President, he's a member of the Albert Dorman Honors College, and he will be receiving his Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering a little later this morning. If Rajit, you would please come forward.
All right, good morning, everyone. For those who don't know me, as Dr. Bloom said, my name is Rajit Das. I'd like to start by saying thank you to the members of the Board of Trustees, the Board of Overseers, our honorary degree recipients, our senior administrators, and the faculty in attendance for being here, as well as all the family and friends in the crowd. Lastly, thank you and congratulations to all the graduates of the class of 2016. Thank you not only for being here today, but for making the past few years some of the best that NJIT has ever seen. You know, I always thought it was pretty crazy how planet Earth exists. The universe is so huge, yet somehow, some way, we're all in the perfect spot to create and sustain life. Most people call that science. I call it luck. For the past few years, we have been together in a diverse community, learning and growing as individuals. Most people call that college. I call it luck. We're lucky because one of the most valuable things we've gained from the past years at this particular educational institute is something that ironically can't be learned, but only experienced. diversity. There are so many other universities out there where every student has the exact same profile, and I think that's absurd. I wonder how those students will be able to last in the workforce not knowing how to deal with people who are different from them. Here at NJIT, our students truly do come from all walks of life, and we should be proud of that. We, as Highlanders, have learned not only to accept our differences, but show true appreciation for them. Our students come from all over New Jersey and all over the world, from urban streets and suburban neighborhoods, from good financial situations and struggling ones. While we have all been following different paths throughout our lives, all 2,800 of them cross and meet here today. Graduation Day is a time to be proud not only of ourselves and of each other, but also of everyone else who made this day possible. Today is as much for them as it is for us. Life is about sacrifices, and I think a lot were made in order for us to get our degrees today. To the parents whose son or daughter is the first college graduate of their family, this day is for you. To those who gave up their life in their home country to give their children a better life here, this day is for you. To grandparents who instilled their wisdom and values into you all, this day is for you. To the families who flew halfway around the world just to see you walk across this stage today, this day is for you. To the friends and teammates who stayed by you when you needed it the most, to the brothers and sisters, girlfriends and boyfriends out there who did not necessarily get to spend as much time with you because of your busy schedules, but were always your biggest fans anyway, this day is for you. And to those who are not present at this ceremony, this day is for you. To the students and now graduates who were told they would never become anything, to the graduates who earned and maintained their scholarships for the duration of their time here, who had to work 2 jobs to pay themselves through school, and who are graduating after spending 6 or even 7 years here, this day is for you. If I am to leave you with any advice, it is to be positive with yourself. Recognize where things go right as often as you recognize where things do not, and simply enjoy everything that you do. You'll find success only when you find time to relax, close your eyes, and listen to all the sounds around you, feeling wind blowing through your hair. After I walk off this lectern, close your eyes and think of all the people who made it possible for you to be here, your family, your professors, your friends, and thank them. Think about everything you've learned here, about your major, about each other, about yourself, and remember them. And think about your goals to be successful in the future, your desires, your dreams, your aspirations, and reach for them. Lastly, think about NJIT. It is your home now and forever. Be proud of it, take care of it, and remember it. As a group, we have encountered similar problems, and we have been challenged. But we have stuck together, and today we emerge with success as college graduates. Congratulations, class of 2016. You earned it. Thank you.
Off to my right is a very special group of, at this point, all gentlemen. They all graduated prior to 1965, and we call them our Golden Highlanders. Gentlemen, thank you. You can wave back. Thank you. Thank you. I now call upon Chair Trustee Steve DePalma. Steve.
Good day. We now move to the presentation of the various awards and honors that the university bestows each year. The extraordinary individuals we recognize today with honorary degrees, the university's highest honor, were selected on the basis of their contributions to their profession and to society at large. In your programs, you will find a complete citation for all of our honorees. At this time, I'd like to call upon Vice Chair, Trustee Elizabeth Garcia, to present the honorary degree to Mrs. Kathleen Wielkopolski.
Thank you. Again, congratulations to everyone. This is, as an alumna, I'm really proud to see such a nice group of students graduating. Kathleen. Right here, right? It's my pleasure to talk about our friend, Mrs. Kathleen Wielkopolski. Mrs. Kathleen Wielkopolski is Chair Emerita of the NJIT Board of Trustees and retired Executive President and Chief Financial Officer of the Gale Company, one of our nation's largest privately owned real estate development and management companies. She received a bachelor's in science degree in accounting from Fairleigh Dickinson University. And having served on the Board of Trustees of NJIT from 1998 to 2014, including as co-vice chair of the Audit and Finance Committee, Mrs. Wielkopolski has been a generous contributor of her time and talents to the NJIT community. In 2004, she was elected chair of the board and remained as such while providing leadership in the selection of NJIT's 8th president, Dr. Joel Bloom. During her tenure of an exceptionally dynamic time at NJIT, Mrs. Wielkopolski presided over the growth and enrollment, the building of the Warren Street Village, where the Albert Dorman Honors College and the Greek houses are, the active fundraising efforts, expanding academic and research programs, the successful independence of NJIT during the New Jersey higher education restructuring, and some of you know what I'm talking about, and the creation of a faculty hiring plan, a facilities master plan, and a university strategic plan. Mrs. Wielkopolski was formerly a member of the Board of Trustees of Workstage, former president of Executive Women of New Jersey, a member of the New Jersey Society of Certified Public Accountants, a member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and a CASA volunteer. She's also served as principal and chief executive officer of W5. In recognition of her exemplary and long-standing leadership during a significant growth period for the university, and as the first female chairperson of the New Jersey Board of Trustees, New Jersey Institute of Technology's Board of Trustees, the Board of Trustees hereby confers the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, upon Mrs. Kathleen Wielkopolski.
This is truly an, this is truly an honor to receive this degree today. My years of service at NJIT were very fulfilling for me personally. The administration was exemplary to work with, and we did so many exciting things. And to see the students develop and to attend days like this where we see you graduating and moving on to your career, I feel that I had a part in your development and being able to make sure that you had the right facilities, the right professors, the right curriculum, and the right financial aid to make you successful as you go forward. So thank you very much. This is an extreme honor for me, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
It's now my pleasure to call upon Vice Chairman, Trustee Stephen Cordes to present the honorary degree to Mr. Ying Wu.
Will Mr. Ying Wu please come forward? Tech innovator and entrepreneur Mr. Ying Wu earned his MS degree in electrical engineering from NJIT in 1988. Since, he has become a widely known and respected figure in telecommunications and international economic development. After NJIT, he went on to Bell Labs and then founded Starcom Network Systems, a New Jersey-based developer of intelligent network systems. In 1995, Mr. Wu merged his company with Unitech Telecom, a California-based developer of digital and wireless transmission systems, forming UT Starcom, specializing in high-level R&D and international marketing. He then founded the company's China-based subsidiary, UT Starcom China, becoming its CEO. In 2003, China Central TV named Wu one of the, quote, top 10 most influential persons, unquote, in China's economy. Mr. Wu currently focuses on developing and installing advanced wired and wireless products in his native China, based on American technology. He is also chairman of China Capital Group. He is a consultant to the Overseas Chinese Affairs Office of the State Council and senior internet consultant to the government of Shenzhen City. Seriously and generously acknowledging the role that NJIT has had in his success, in 2005, Mr. Wu established the Ying Wu Endowed Chair in Wireless Communications in the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and the Ying Wu 1988 Endowed Professorship. More recently, he helped organize the NJIT Alumni Association's regional club in China and was elected as its first chair. He's received the 2000 NCE Outstanding Alumni Award, the 2011 Weston Medal, and the 2012 Alumni Achievement Award. In recognition of his outstanding accomplishments as a widely known and respected innovator and entrepreneur in telecommunications and international economic development, and as an alumni whose philanthropic efforts provide an example for our students to emulate, the Board of Trustees of New Jersey Institute of Technology is pleased to confer the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa upon Mr. Ying Wu.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor to receive this honorary doctorate degree today. 31 years ago, on May 18th, 1985, I came to NJIT with $27. After I got here, I worked as a truck loader in New York, Chinatown. And after school started, I kept my full-time student status and full-time working at a small startup company and part-time work at a Chinese restaurant. It sounds very tough, but after that, 18 months later, I bought my first house in the States. I swear I didn't sell any drug, which was not necessary. And I went back to China in 1992 to build the telecom equipment business. And in year 2000, the company I co-founded became a public company in NASDAQ with market cap over 10 billion US dollars. Thank you. And in 2003, I co-founded another company in China, One Park Lake in China in 2008. Also a over 100 billion RMB dollar company listed in China. I'm not trying to brag myself. My points are: never give up your dream, never forget your dream, and appreciate what you have today. Thank you very much.
I now call upon Vice Chair Trustee Vincent DiCaprio to present the honorary doctorate to Dr. Leonard Kleinrock.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning. Will Dr. Leonard Kleinrock please come forward? Dr. Leonard Kleinrock is Distinguished Professor of Computer Science at UCLA. He received his PhD degree from MIT in 1963 and has served as Professor of Computer Science at UCLA since then. He also received his BEE degree from the City College of New York in 1957 and an MS degree from MIT in 1959, and he has published over 250 papers and authored 6 books. Dr. Kleinrock laid out the mathematical theory of packet networks, the technology underpinning the internet, as an MIT graduate student. His UCLA host computer became the first node of the internet in September 1969, from which he directed the transmission of the first internet message. He received the 2007 National Medal of Science, the highest honor for achievement in science bestowed by the President of the United States. Dr. Kleinrock is a member of the National Academy of Engineering, the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. He's an IEEE Fellow, an ACM Fellow, and an Informs Fellow, and an inaugural member of the Internet Hall of Fame, a Guggenheim Fellow, and a founding member of the Computer Science and Telecommunications Board of the National Research Council. Among his many honors, Dr. Kleinrock is the recipient of the National Medal of Science, the Erickson Prize, the NAE Draper Prize, the Marconi Prize, the Dan David Prize, the Okawa Prize, the BBVA Foundation Frontiers of Knowledge Award, and the IEEE Internet Millennium Award, along with the Orsa Lanchester Prize, the ACM SIGCOM Award, NEC Computer and Communications Award, the UCLA Outstanding Faculty Member, the UCLA Distinguished Teaching Award, and the IEEE Harry M. Good Award. In recognition of his pioneering contributions to our understanding of the mathematical theory of packet networks, the technology underpinning the internet that have transformed the world and are deeply inspirational to our students, the Board of Trustees of New Jersey Institute of Technology is pleased to confer the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa upon Dr. Leonard Kleinrock. That'll work. Okay. I now invite Dr. Leonard Kleinrock to present the commencement address to the class of 2016. Dr. Kleinrock.
So, President Bloom, members of the Platform Party, guests, friends, family, and graduates. This is a very special day for you, and I'm honored to be part of the celebration. It's important to mark this milestone in your career, and milestones in general are something you should think about and adhere to. Milestones tell you where you've been, where you are, and most of all, they help you guide you in the trajectory on which you're about to embark. But I don't have to tell you, things are changing for you. You're leaving a structured environment and entering a world that is malleable, fluid, changing, uncertain, unfair, and wonderful. And all of that provides opportunities for you. Disruptive events, disruptive technologies will continually stun you. It's not going to be business as usual. As you emerge from this institution with your tools, your skills, and your dreams, you've met all of the requirements to graduate from this institution. And basically, you've acquired structured knowledge, silos of information, and worldviews. Well, now it's time to change all that. My talk today is entitled Breaking Barriers. And the basic message is that disruption is acceptable and very often desirable. By breaking through structures and boundaries, you open up unexplored spaces that you haven't thought about before. The white space between disciplines, and thereby remove the constraints that you've grown up with and think about as you move through a very structured environment as you have now. You're at a stage of your life where you have to think about breaking through those structures. And today I'm going to describe 7 boundaries I recommend you try to break. First, the boundary of time. This is not a 9-to-5 job world you're entering. It's 24/7, a 168-hour work week commitment. You should be thinking about science and engineering all the time. When you're chatting with your friends, when you're speaking with your spouse, when you're shopping, and when you're sleeping, and especially when you're showering. Don't let it leave your mind. Let it work and continue to generate ideas and new directions. A second issue about breaking the boundary of time. You have been the beneficiary of 4,000 years of the gems of the world's civilization. They've been handed to you since you were in elementary school on a silver platter. Here's Maxwell's equations, his differential equations, his aerodynamics, his genetics, here's all the wonderful information theory, algorithms. Here they are, free. And we led you to believe that these were easily accomplished major results. But we lied to you. They were not easy at all. The folks who generated those breakthroughs did it with great sweat and failure and restart and try again and determination. So let me reassure you that when you try to move the boundary, it will be tough. You won't believe me until you've tried it, because you'll be able to break through if you remain there. But it is tough, make no mistake about it. It's hard to move that needle. Second boundary, the boundary of geography. The world is flat. Tom Friedman told us that. Everything is connected to everything else. Geography is fast dissolving, so don't let that be a constraint in your way. The third is the boundary of discipline. You're all organized now by electrical engineering, computer science, civil engineering, chemical engineering, aeronautics. Those are disciplines in which you identify yourself. Well, break through that. Think about the interdisciplinary spaces, those unexplored spaces I mentioned before. That's where you're going to find the interesting information. Things like biology and engineering, like electrical and computer science, like transportation and environment, materials and manufacturing, energy and civil engineering. It's in those spaces between where the unexplored work remains for you to contribute. The next boundary, the boundary of predictable technology. You've all grown up with the internet, and you've watched it evolve. And it's not hard to predict what the infrastructure of the internet will be as we move forward. It'll contain mobility, Internet of Things, wireless, a variety of things you can foresee. But what we can't predict are the applications and services that have come about. We've seen a constant stream of surprising applications that hit us in the side of the head, surprised us, exploded, and dominated our thinking. Let me give you some examples. Email, nobody saw it coming. The World Wide Web, Google, peer-to-peer file sharing networks, YouTube, Facebook, blogs, Instagram, Snapchat. Nobody saw them coming, and when they came, they took over. So what we've created in terms of applications and services is a system that will constantly shock us with surprises. How wonderful that is. Therein lies your opportunity to invent and create and offer your own services. The fifth boundary, the boundary of self-limitation. The byline here is reach beyond your grasp. And I'm going to give you a personal story there. When I was a young man in the Boy Scouts, I reached a certain stage, and my scoutmaster challenged me. He dared me to become the first Eagle Scout in our troop. Now, this was clearly beyond my grasp. I couldn't quite see how to get there. It was going to take a lot of work and a lot of uncertainty. Well, I took the challenge, I got the Eagle Scout, and by doing so, I recognized that I could achieve if I tried hard enough. Don't underestimate your abilities, because once you get that first success, it'll give you the confidence to achieve yet many more successes along the way. Sixth boundary, the boundary of peer pressure to which you've been subject your entire life. My advice to you is don't follow the pack. Break out into new territory. And again, I'm going to give you a personal story here. When I got my master's degree at MIT, as you heard, I was done. I had a child, I was married, ready to take a job at MIT doing research. And my supervisor said, "You've got to get a PhD." And I said, "I don't want one." "You got to get it." So I said, "Okay, I'll agree on two conditions that I set for myself. Condition number one, I'm going to work for the absolutely best professor that I know of at MIT. And secondly, whatever I do, I want to have impact. I want it to make a difference. I don't want to piddle around for 3 or 4 years making a small nothing." Well, the professor I chose, a gentleman named Claude Shannon. And if you don't recognize that name, tonight go on Google and find out who he was and what he did. He's considered the father of the information revolution, a brilliant man. So I started to work with him. And then I looked around at my classmates, and all of them were working on the kind of work that he had done. He had developed information theory and coding theory, and he had established the fundamental principles of that field. All my classmates were working on remaining small problems that were hard and probably of little significance. And I said, that's not what I signed up for. Meanwhile, I was surrounded by computers at MIT, and I said, you know, someday they're going to have to talk with each other. And there was no adequate technology to allow that to happen. Now, here was a problem which was unexplored, would have impact if I could solve it, and I had an approach that was for me. And so I set out doing something none of my other classmates were interested in, and I broke through and I was able to accomplish some of the things you heard about today. So the point is, don't follow the pack. Break that boundary. So the seventh boundary, the boundary of your own internal constraints. A wake-up call is a really good thing if you respond to it correctly. Another personal story. When I first got to MIT, I had come here from CCNY just across the river with rather limited study habits. I'd take a piece of paper like this with the basic equations and study on the subway as I went back and forth to work. I went to evening session at CCNY. And I scored very high at CCNY. I got to MIT. MIT is an intimidating place. The physical structure, the students, the faculty, and I figured I'll sail right through this. The first course I took was a course in which they told me they would separate the men from the boys. Midterm comes along, and I get a 50. 50. I'd seen nothing south of 94 my entire career. And I realized something was wrong. I had two choices now. Go in the corner and cry and give up and go home, or figure out what's wrong. What can I do to correct this? And I realized I did have to do more than just studying on a piece of paper, really dedicated myself, got an A in the course, and basically went on to do the kind of thing I did. Again, how you respond to a wake-up call, a valuable wake-up call, is critical. Don't crush, just move ahead. So, those are the 7 boundaries I wanted to mention to you. The boundary of time, geography, discipline, predictable technology, self-limitation, peer pressure, and removing internal constraints. Now, the opportunities in front of you are incredible. The internet has given you, this younger generation, a system that you can't imagine living without. You share your photos, you have to do that all the time, streaming video, shopping online, chat with your friends. But as we move ahead and accept all of this, you have to wonder, where did it all come from? What can we learn from the past about these wonders at our hands? So again, another story. Story is, there's an elderly gentleman sitting in the bleachers watching a ball game. And sitting next to him is a millennial, one of you, also watching the game. The game goes on, and every so often the young man looks at the old man, and finally he says, "Excuse me, sir, I have no way to relate to you. When you were a young man, there was no television, there were no computers, there was no internet, no smartphones, no Facebook. I don't know how to relate to you." And the old man looks at him and he says, "You know, son, you're right. We didn't have those things, so we had to invent them. What the heck are you going to do for the next generation? You. What are you going to do for the next generation? Think about it." So, and it's your opportunity. So it's not the journey, as you know, it's the destination that will delight you. I remember the engagement and the striving that took me from a poor kid in Manhattan to this podium, and it was a great ride. So make your journey fulfilling, make it fun. Be sure to select a job in life that you're going to enjoy. They'll never pay you enough to take work that you don't like. And you shouldn't be working on anything that you don't care about. Do something you really care about, and you shouldn't be working on anything else. You're in charge of what you do from here on out. You make the rules, you choose the path, you have the responsibility to lead yourself. There's no script to follow, that's gone. There's no curriculum to follow, it's your own curriculum. You are your main competitor, and you are your own final judge. Don't look around, judge yourself. You're going to make the choices, you'll experience the adventures, you'll suffer the consequences, and you'll reap the rewards. It offers you unanticipated choices that will come your way. Keep your eyes open. Change your path when the opportunity arises. Don't set a fixed path. Keep your eyes open and your mind available. The game's just begun, and there's lots of folks before you who succeeded. And remember another thing, failure's okay, as long as you get up and try again. In fact, if you're not failing occasionally, you're probably not trying hard enough. Just get up, pick yourself up, and do it again. And most of all, have confidence in yourself and believe that you can achieve. So finally, I urge you to find the surprises that appear when you break down those boundaries. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kleinrock, for those most appropriate and poignant comments. At this time, I invite the Newark Boys Chorus to sing When I Close My Eyes, arranged by Jim Populus.
What beautiful voices have been added to this great day. That is the Newark Boys Chorus, our city's finest musical ambassadors. I thank you.